Greetings, YouTube. You are staring at the crazy awesome luck that good old Firedood got from the early access bundles of Red Guardian. And so, when you get a 6-star, you kind of got to test them out. Now, of course, some champions suck without being awakened. And there's no telling until he awakens this champion. And there's really almost no way until he comes out next Thursday to even have a chance to awaken him to know how much better he is. So this might be one of those videos where you look back and you think, well, of course he was terrible. He wasn't awakened. But for the sake of argument, we can only go off of the analysis of what we have. So Firedood took him up. Now, of course, he didn't take him up to rank 2. It was a sort of like a max level rank 1 effect for Red Guardian. Now, we're going to have a couple of videos that we watch just to show you what he looks like unawakened straight out of the bin. Of course, as time goes on, you find out how to fight with the champion better. But for the fights we're going to watch, he likes that he can do a medium, and then a 5-hit upon early stuns. His special 2 and then 2 heavies is what he likes to practice with. And the trauma debuff is brief but increases the damage. On top of that, you can see he's got a pretty cool synergy team that he sent along. And so we're going to be able to see on Fracture the shards from the shield burst onto the opponent, inflicting a stun debuff for 1.9 seconds. And the heavy attacks gain 316.65 attack rating for each unique debuff on the opponent. He also shows the special 1 and special 2 attacks. On activation of the shield, you gain 675.52 attack rating throughout this special. And then this attack strikes the opponent and the shield is fractured. Each stack of durability grants an additional 253 attack rating to each hit of the attack. And then he gave the Sabretooth synergy. So Red Guardian, while the shield is fractured, gain an indefinite passive fury, granting plus 10% attack rating until the shield is repaired. And then Omega Red takes 50% less damage from incoming attacks while the shield is at max durability. And then Eastern blockers, Rhino and Abomination have a little bit of a interesting synergy. Rhino starts the fight with a passive fury, granting plus 30% attack rating for 20 seconds. While this fury is active, Rhino also gains plus 50% increased ability accuracy and inflicts the opponent with a slow debuff. So I think for Rhino, that's going to be really interesting. In fact, I might ask this summoner to maybe test out the Rhino synergy and pass it along. So this is not like a crazy high damage champion unawakened straight out of the package, if you will. But he did pass along a couple of fights. This is also the standard Realm of Legends Winter Soldier, the man who needs a better healthcare plan. It's a 5-minute fight. I don't think it's worth watching the whole 5 minutes, so we'll watch like a minute, maybe 2 minutes of it, and then we'll go to the second video because your time is precious and I don't want to waste it. But as he likes to talk about with this champion, it's all about the 2 mediums and then a 5-hit combo upon early stuns. And so that is a good way to get a combo in. And I have been told that a lot of people think that this is like the hero of the pandemic. This is what people imagine like their dad to look like after he hasn't been outside or worked out in a couple months. And maybe the only thing that he's been downing is brewskis. So, gotta love that. We also, in a way, kind of have the foundation for quote-unquote Fat Thor, if he ever came to the contest. I've been asked for it. So we'll see if that's true. But until then, we've got to just be patient and enjoy the champions that come out. So he gets the stun, does a heavy, and then a second heavy. And, I mean, it looks like it does okay damage, right? I mean, it's nothing that's absolutely terrible. But at the same time, it's a 6-star. And yes, it's a class disadvantage. It's a skill fighting a science. But at the same time, it's just somebody that, a lot of champions this year have been just kind of okay. And there are some theories as to why. Personally, I think Kabam knows that they really hurt the trust of the player base every time they have to do any kind of rebalancing. So they want to make a champion that's not just total trash, but they also don't want to make a champion so OP that they're going to have to scale him or her back. So they kind of just make a champion that's safe and falls somewhere in the middle tier of champions, which does not get you to the level of hype that, say, Dr. Doom would, right? Or even Black Widow Clairvoyant. So, yeah, it's just, it's a bit frustrating. So, yeah, this Winter Soldier, it's a solid fight, but how many God tier champs that are 4 stars, at rank 5 especially, do you think could do better than this against Winter Soldier? I would say probably a lot. Cool Special 3 animation. He's burning all those beer calories in that animation. So he's got the stun, but, you know, given that damage, I'd say the Special 2 is probably going to be a better choice. So we're going to, I know this fight's going to keep going, but we're not going shorter to show more gameplay and just have kind of a better idea of how this goes down. So a cool combo, right? But, oh, this is, I think this is Act 6. Yeah, some Act 6 gameplay. So, again, I don't think he's trash from this. But for the moment, you're just not seeing the level of excitement, Unawakened, be it, that some champions would. Like, imagine the hype. Remember when Longshot came out? And you thought about how great that champion was Unawakened, especially in certain matchups like that Venom that everybody would fight. So, you know, he thinks he's a fun champion to play with, and obviously he hopes he can get him awakened. But at the same time, it's one of those champions that may or may not fall just kind of in the middle of the tier. But as always, I hope I'm wrong, right? I hope this guy turns out to be crazy OP and maybe the best champion of the year, and everybody can look back on this video and say, wow, he really didn't know. And hey, look, I asked a line question while the video was playing. That's never happened before, because he said he was playing around with him, and I said, do you have any tips on him? Because I wanted to take notes and deliver the best info. So, you know, I mean, he does a good job on this fight. Again, I don't know how many champions would do this better that aren't 6 stars, but it's a solid combo and definitely good gameplay. So, I know this is just an incredibly small amount of data, and I always like to use that word. So it's one sample size. It could be a champion that is going to be amazing once you get the hang of him. But what do you think of the gameplay so far? Where would you put him? Are you excited to go for him next Thursday? Because obviously the early access bundles preview the following week's featured calves. Comment below, let me know. And thanks again so much to Firedood for not only submitting the video, but also providing some tips and some gameplay strategy that he was using to try to showcase some unique utility of Mr. Red Guardian.